Welcome to another episode of the Spy Master series with your host, Navjot Singh. I'm a former intelligence officer and I'll bring to you interesting stories from the world of espionage. You're all curious what happened in the Cold War. Cold War when US and USSR were at their heads with each other. ये वो time था जिस वक्त we did not see active wars. There were no mortars being fired. There were no guns being loaded. But there was a war that is happening behind the curtains. Yes, behind the curtains, a war was happening, and that war was the invisible war. The war of espionage, the war of countering each other's narrative, the war of taking out the adversarial agents and spies. That was a time that was happening in the era of 1960s and 70s, the Cold War at its peak. I am bringing to you another such anecdote from that Cold War. I'm taking you to Bulgaria, the time when assassinations used to happen. Assassins were used to take out adversarial spies, adversarial agents, without the news coming to the newspapers, without taking the limelight. One such gentleman, one such man, the name is Georgi Markov. Georgi Markov, he had left United Kingdom. He was a dissident of UK into the Republic of Bulgaria. However, he worked with the BBC's Bulgarian service, and he was a renowned journalist there. Over the 3 years starting 1978, he produced a lot of news articles, a lot of exposes and reports where he brought out the corruption, the scandals, and a lot of things exposing the then premier of Bulgaria, the president of Bulgaria, Todor Zhukov. Todor Zhukov was anguished. He was enraged how this BBC service curator could bring out his, exposes, his corruption scandals into the open. He was enraged. And that is when the Bulgarian Secret Service planned to take this gentleman, Georgi Markov, out. Georgi Markov was not aware of what is going to come to him, what is going to happen. So what happened? At that time, certain radioactive elements, certain gas guns, they were being used. So one fine day, while Mr. Georgi Markov was moving over in the streets of Bulgaria, as soon as he crossed the bridge of Waterloo, something was thrust into his thighs and he felt unconscious. Actually, it was this assassin who had been following him for a long time, and he thrust an umbrella laced with something into his thighs, and that substance penetrated his bodies. On being taken to the hospital after being unconscious, he realized that he had been poisoned, and 4 days hence, Georgi Markov was another footnote in the annals of espionage in the spy universe. He had died. Later reports medical examination found that Georgi Markov was poisoned with the chemical called Ricin. And the Bulgarian Secret Service had succeeded. Another agent taken out. Another story ended. That is all from this episode of the Spy Master series, taking back from the world of the times of the Cold War, when things looked cold, but just like the river water which is moving very slowly on the surface, there is a tumult in its deeper layers. That's what happened in the Cold War. We'll meet in another episode of the Spy Master series. Signing off. Jai Hind.